Sair da escola já com uma formação profissional no currículo? Parece bom demais pra ser verdade, né? Pois é. No ensino técnico do Senac, isso é possível. É ensino médio junto com formação técnica, que acontece durante os 3 anos. Lá, eles usam metodologia para projetos, desenvolvendo competências como resolução de problemas, pensamento crítico e colaboração, além de valores éticos e sustentáveis. Quer saber? Senac. Acesse sp.senac.br/ensino médio e saiba mais.
Não é tempo técnico, mas é intervalo aqui no podcast. Já imaginou se seu time tivesse um seguro para não perder nunca? Pois é, isso não existe. Mas com a Zurich Seguros, quem não perde nunca é você. Na Zurich Seguros, os planos se adequam às suas necessidades em qualquer momento da sua vida. Seja seguro de auto, residência, vida e muito mais. Diferente de alguns times, na Zurich Seguros você pode confiar. Para saber mais, acesse zurich.com.br ou consulte seu corretor.
Enquanto você escuta seu podcast favorito, que tal dar uma olhada nos looks da Riachuelo para as festas de fim de ano? Brilhos, transparências, vestidos, conjuntos, temos tudo para todos os eventos. Aqui, toda festa começa com look.
You're listening to Saucepans and Sidesteps.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Saucepans and Sidesteps podcast. Joining me, Big M, as always, is Mr. Huw Griffin. How are we, my friend?
I'm delighted. I'm so thrilled that proper rugby is back. We don't have to talk about that international nonsense this week.
Brilliant. And we also have a new member. Hello, Ben. How are we, my friend?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for inviting me along for the journey.
Okay, so just for everybody's clarity, Ben has politely, kind of jumping in the deep end, decided to help us with our match day vlogging. So, as with everyone who comes on the pod, where does your love of the Scarlets come from? Tell us a bit about yourself.
My love started it's down to my family. My dad was taking me down Stradley Park when I was younger, but that was before I had the love for the Scarlets, because when my dad passed about 9 years ago, and that's when I really got into the Scarlets in the sense of I went to every game. So yeah, my love comes from following the tradition of going down with my dad and never looked back since. I got currently season ticket holder with my brother and my friend who comes down from Cardiff to watch Scarlets. So yeah, I know. So yeah, that's basically me.
Yeah, it's not very surprising to you, people traveling from far and wide to come and watch the Scarlets.
He went to live in Stoke for a while, and we just spoke about it all the time. He was texting me we got to go and see the Scarlets at one point, because his mum is from Llanelli, so he's always been a Scarlet supporter, and he's probably chuffed him speaking about him on this podcast. But yeah, he comes to every game now. So yeah, it's good.
That's good. So everybody keep your head. So I believe our next home game is Black Lion. I'm believing you're going to be there live in action, testing everything out.
I am, yes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm going to follow your tradition, because I've been watching your vlogs, so I'm going to try and keep it the same kind of length and everything,
No, mine are basic. Mine, literally, I take a couple of pictures, maybe a few videos, and then we'll put it together for me. Yeah, so we'll get you a paper sign or something just to say, hello, this is Ben, please speak to me, something like that. I think that will go down well.
Okay, cool.
So on to this week, we've got a little bit of news. First up, former Scarlet, legend Sanjay Liam Williams. He welcomed his first child this past week. I believe it was last Tuesday. Leo Teddy James Williams. £8 1 ounce, it's a good size boy, that is, so we're already targeting him for an academy contract.
Is he signed up?
He's signed in, we see the genetics from the father. He'll be fine.
Yeah, John Daniels, get your check signing pen out.
Cubby boy's probably very looking at him. signing him up.
Has Cubby scouted him? Has Cubby scouted him? That's
Yes,
the real
yeah.
question.
That's what we want to know. That's the real details we want to know.
Yeah. Former member of this troop, Lee G, has asked us to give a little shout out to a former friend of his and a regular listener, Big O of Pembroke. Apparently, he's taught him many, many things over the years and things we cannot share for just human decency reasons, so we just say. So, let's kick us on into the actual rugby of things. So before we came into this game, we've had this big gap, of the autumn internationals, as we all know. So we had big win against the Bulls. The boys, came out and admitted that they were really, they were playing like second, third gear when we beat Zebra at home. So coming into this game, I don't know what you guys were expecting, but when the team sheets came out, and I know you will attest to this, how I was like, we've got this. Our forward pack should really smash this out to the park, like.
Yeah, you're always win or die though, Mark. You pick us to win, even if we were playing, combined team with the 2015 All Blacks and the modern day Springboks in
Nothing, man.
Antarctica or something, you'd be like, yeah, we'll win this. And so you're always like that. It was pretty split, wasn't it? The expectation. There was a lot of people saying Scarlets got a chance here, and it did feel like because I put on Blue Sky that I think Scarlets got a chance here, and there were a few people like you deluded. But I saw some Glasgow fans or some Scottish fans saying, yeah, Glasgow will win this by 20. But then there was some people who were whispering like, I think the Scarlets could get it here. And I think, it was a great opportunity. It was a great opportunity. Ben, what was your expectation going into the game?
Well, my expectation was the fact that I was like, if we can get within 7 points, I thought that'd be an amazing result. But when the game finished, I was disappointed that we did. And that's all we got from it because I think we should have won that game.
Yeah, there's no doubt in our mind. We'll come on to the areas that we really should have executed better.
Yeah.
I know I know Huw has put out a few images on different timestamps of the game of certain decisions, penalty decisions, etc. But in terms of what did go well, I mean, we've spoken about our defense probably non-stop for about a year and a half, and the improvements we've seen. And I think we've seen a step up again this week, And let's not forget that the last time we played Glasgow, it was like 40 odd points to 8.
45-3 to Glasgow at the park.
Oh, there we go.
But didn't Glasgow get 0 line breaks, which is amazing.
Yeah, zero line breaks by Glasgow in this game. We did not concede a single line break. And you got to remember that Glasgow, look, would it have made a big difference if Tuipulotu and Huw Jones was there? Yes, of course it was. It would have made a huge difference. But they still had Tom Jordan, who looked amazing in the autumn. They still had Stafford McDowell, who's a Scotland's international. Adam Hastings, who unfortunately went off, started for them as well. So, and George Horn was the scrum half. So it wasn't as bare bones as some people make out, but yeah, very, very impressive for the Scarlets to keep a team to 0 line breaks, especially because it kind of triggered a memory for me, Mike. Do you remember? I don't know if you were if you did that episode, but we spoke about the Glasgow game at the start of the year, was technically this year, and we were blitzing like madmen against them at home, and we got torn to shreds. And after the game, we were going, "What was with that mental blitz that we were doing? It made no sense." And then in this game on Friday, we blitzed again, but it worked. So that's interesting to me, and it kind of shows the progression. It shows the great work that Jared Payne is doing, and it shows that the players, a lot of trust for the players to the coaches, because they could have turned around and gone, "Are you mad? We did that last year," and they got absolutely pasted. But no, they did it again, and it's like exactly as you said, Ben, 0 line breaks conceded.
Yeah. So
amazing.
I'm gonna raise you a Huw Jones and Tuipulotu, and I'm going to say a Sam Costello, a starting Eddie James, and a Joe Roberts. It is.
We're not full strength either.
Exactly.
We had a few players out. Tommy Rogers was out. Sam Costello, and I was saying on Twitter actually, if Sam Costello had the last 20 minutes, 15 minutes, I think we would have won that game. I think Johan isn't great at closing games out. Well, Sam is.
Yeah, we obviously we spoke about year one a fair bit. Is he a 10? Is he a 15? These are where he's really showing his inexperience as a 10, because he has not played a great deal of rugby there, which, we all need to remember. We all need to take into consideration when he is there. But a lot of things did go well in this game. Now, majority of the pack were really strong. I loved seeing Fafita back on the field. I think everyone's going to mention that.
Yeah, our pack dominated them.
Yeah, did. I don't want to be negative, but I'm not bugger it. Our scrum has been a stable point this season so far.
98% scrum success, the highest in Europe.
I wasn't that impressed with our scrum in that first 50 minutes. Like, we look at who we were actually facing. It was, Patrick Schicklin, who is a tight head playing for the first time on the loose. And we had Finn Richardson, the tight head, who realistically, he hadn't played a proper professional game of rugby. As a tight end, he played Prem Rugby Cup and Championship. I expected Alec Hepburn to really muller into him for fun, but that didn't happen. And when the scrum did start again going was with Matthias and Wainwright and against Dell and Talakai. So much credit has to be given to both Matthias and Wainwright for pushing that scrum back. Talakai is Nomag and Dell has been around for years. Experience counts for so much in that.
Shoved him off their own ball.
It was immense. That was my highlight of the game. We could have lost by 50. I would be keeping that in it on the wall. I might actually do that. But yeah, I thought there were a few opportunities there, especially the scrum, where we should have really gone for them. We should have really forced the issue. But there we go. Happy to see Vai Fafita back, as just mentioned. Stealing ball on our own 5.
What a moment that was. What a moment that was. And the thing is, I'll see if I can find the clip of it. Because if you actually look at what happens after he steals it, look at how the Llanelli Warthog, Marnus van der Merwe, who, by the way, looks in great nick.
Van der Merwe is probably a best signing. He's been so good.
Watch, I'll try and pull it up. Bear with me. Watch Van der Merwe after Fafita steals it. It looks like it's our throw-in. The way they go about is so casual. So if I play it on
Share
here,
screen, here we go.
So obviously we know Fafita goes up, and it's such a big call because we could have lost it. Van der Merwe just takes it, passes it, and clears. And it goes. It's so casual the way he does it, and that's the confidence that we have in our line-out in the moment, and particularly our line-out defence. Like the stat that I pulled up a couple of days ago is Tane Plumtree was the only Welsh player in the Autumn Internationals to steal a line-out. He stole 2 against Fiji. No one else stole one. So, like it or not, Scarlets' line-out, and particularly our line-out defence, is excellent.
And it was the same last season as well. You add Alex Craig into that mix because he stole a fair few balls as well. Now we've actually got, Plumtree, Craig, and Fafita fit. Having the 3 of them in the same pack at the same time is obviously a different issue, but that's just insane. Having
a bit of depth,
that many specialist line-out defenders is something you would dream of, really, and it's not really something we associate with us as Scarlets, but it does suit, our game plan. It does suit that transition style of game, and like you've said with the defense, the team has really bought into everything we're trying to do this year, which is amazing.
Glasgow 0 maul tries as well, which is something worthy of note with Glasgow, best maul in the world.
And another worthy note for Glasgow is they took a penalty at home.
I was about to say that. They always go for the corner, and they saw how well we defended and went for the post. I mean, if that's credit to us, I mean, what else is?
First time they've gone for the post this season.
Yeah.
Round 7 against the Scarlets, 66th minute, Duncan Weir. That's been a theme that we've spoken about on this pod is teams are starting off going to the corner against us, and by midway in the second half, they're going for the 3 because we're in the game and we're not letting them in. Which, at what point did we say that last season? In any game, even against like the towards the end of the season when we were playing easier fixtures, we weren't saying stuff like this. So that shows the transformation that we've had over the summer, really.
Well, the whole thing has been said about Scarlets last year was we just leak in tries. We were just letting people through. We were losing by 30, 40 points. And we could have won every game this season. That's the difference, just by keeping
We
it.
should
That's
have
the
won
score.
every game.
I think we should have, yeah.
It's like we could even go back to last season and look at the games we have lost and drawn this season, and they're soft. They're not structural issues in the defense. They're just little
Well, it's
mind
this game,
lapses.
wasn't it? Like we just scored, kicked it on the other end. They scored because of our mistake from the restart. So
Yeah. So
we stopped that. We would have been try up, probably 2 scores.
yeah, so if we're talking about where it went wrong, it's the two things that's been going wrong all season. Discipline.
Exit.
They score off, Alec Hepburn gets a yellow card. Like we said, Duncan Weir has the opportunity to go for the 3 because we conceded a penalty in our own half. And exits. And it's not funny anymore, I'm afraid. Club legend Gareth Davis, you kick the ball further than 20 meters, Gareth, please. Like it's not a joke anymore. Like one of the most experienced scrum halves Wales has ever produced need to kick further. And to be fair, I thought that's one area where Glasgow really taught us a bit of a lesson, was not just exits, but was with their kicking to touch and the distance they were getting on their kicks to touch as well. That's something we've struggled with all season. So I would say, that's something the Scarlets and Dwayne needs to look at. If they need to get a consultant in or something and say, add an extra 10, 15 meters onto our kicks to touch. Because if we do that, that's the thing that's costing us tries every single game at the moment.
I think the Sam brings that for us, though. He can kick further.
When
those
we did see when he came off the bench and he took over the exits, we did see, a complete change in how we went, and especially in the distances we were getting. So that obviously that is an option there, but there's always that issue of flicking it back a few meters. Apples and oranges, really. If you're talking 5 meters back for a 5-meter game. Yeah, I think Ben has frozen up. Oh, he's back. He's back. Oh, this is going to be fun now. It's going to be, where's Ben? Where's Marta's disappeared? I'm happy with this. But not yet.
I don't know where that is.
No. Game management, again, is something that we do need to work on. And I think just in general, I don't think there is a 10 in any level of the club as a coach, which would, we have said about Johan Lloyd being very inexperienced at 10. Sam Costello is still a baby. He's still 23. He's 24, the start of next year. That's realistic terms in how a rugby career generally goes nowadays. Is you get your first starts by 22, 23 off the bench, and then you get your breakthrough season the year after. Sam has already been leading us for, 2.5, 3 seasons. It's amazing what he's doing at his age, which I think people give a lot of discredit for. They forget how young he is just because of how long he has been around.
I'm always trying to stick up for him on Twitter because the stuff he gets on there is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it is.
Like you said, Ben, I think if he'd have come off the bench in this game, we'd have won. But then you talk about how Charlie Titcombe was on the bench, and would he have been a good option? Yes, he's new at this level, but again, it shows like Dwayne's leaving Cowdor and Yoan on for the full 80 rather than bring Evan Jones and.
I don't understand leaving Cowdor on that long. You could tell he's getting tired around that 60-minute mark. I don't know why we're keeping him on.
And what is even more annoying is that when we do see Evan Jones and Charlie Titcombe drop down to SRC level, they are so far above the competitors. I mean, Charlie Titcombe single-handedly won about 5 games for Quins last season. He's the main reason they won last week away to Bridgend. Same as Evan with RGC. Like this year, they've had a bit of a resurgence, but prior to that, he was one of the main things keeping them, in games, even getting wins on the board. So these are they're stuck in the in between. They need that chance, but don't seem to be giving it to them unless we're giving
It's
up on
almost
a
like
game.
we're waiting for Archie to come back, just to.
I get that sense. I agree. Yeah.
Because I think he's been training today, or he's his first proper run out today. So I can't see him being picked for the weekend, but I think he'll probably be back for the game after.
Yeah.
I think that's when they'll start him, I think, and bring Cowdo on.
Yeah. Dwayne spoke in a, I think it was in a supporters evening. He spoke about how he was personally disappointed that Archie got injured, because I think Dwayne had
He's just
very high
next
hopes
one.
for Archie
Yeah.
this season.
Yeah. I think we would be in a number 1 this season with Cowdo as a number 2, bringing him on.
But if he's not trusting Evan Jones,
I don't
then
understand why. I've seen Evan Jones come on and he's been really good.
if he's not trusting him, then
Love Archie.
unfortunately he needs to be moved on, and we need to sign someone else, because we can't keep just
I
playing
agree.
Cowdor for 80s for the whole season.
No.
Yeah, I mean the problem
What if he gets injured?
Then,
Yeah.
Okay. But an issue we do have is, one, if we do move Evan on, like the next person down the ladder is Rodri Lewis, who is fresh out of the under-20s. Yes, he's a good player, but are these boys ready? You can't say that with a lot of them, with how our squads are now structured. Boys are not. I know our third choice for a lot of positions are not ready or very inexperienced. Like if we go back to my point on Hepburn not really doing as much damage as hope, the person below him, is Sam O'Connor, and yes, brilliant in the loose so far. He's done well whenever we've seen him, but he's got next to no experience, and he's 22 years old. We're talking with throwing kids in at the deep end. If we're really pushing it, which is, it's not ideal. Yes, there are some, the likes of Archie, who, quite frankly, I think we've all been expecting him to break through for about a year, maybe even longer. But it's difficult with this trust issue. Is like we saw in the first game of the season, Peel was happy to trust Jack Davis to come on for a good 25-30 minutes, but he doesn't do it for other players who are more experienced.
Yeah, we're being a bit negative, boys.
I know.
I know you're win or die, Mark, but we did play better than Glasgow in this game, and I know that it wasn't full strength Glasgow, but Glasgow are an extremely well coached team. I thought, like as Ben said, we defensively sussed them out. We only conceded when we had the discipline and the exit issues that we've had all season. We played great rugby at times. Particularly our second try was fantastic, and we were obviously extremely clinical with our first try. 122 entry, 1 try to begin the game with, and you can pick out moments throughout the game of, if that had gone right, we'd have won. And so you can say like, oh, it's negative because we should have won, and I think we're all sat here saying, yeah, we should have won, but no one would have been saying that before the game. A week ago, no one was saying the Scarlets should win this game. So let's not rewrite history, apart from you, Mark. Let's not rewrite history and say that the Scarlets went into this game as favourites. They didn't. No one has won in Glasgow for over a year. And
a lot of people are saying that, though. They were saying that we expected to lose, but then we're disappointed we didn't win, which is what we felt all season, isn't it? We've all I think it was only Big M was believing us beating the Bulls, and I didn't believe it until like the last 10 minutes. Stood in the stands, you can hear the sound changing. I think that's what Scarlets fans are starting to believe a little bit now, But I do think we were unlucky in that last 10 minutes.
I think we're unlucky too.
Glasgow were lying on our ball every ruck, and we should have had at least 3.
I have to say, Mark, it's the worst drop goal attempt I've ever seen.
Oh my God. Oh, don't. I mean, I was about to say it's a testament to how far we've come this season, that we're really dejected right now, but that...
I've never even seen us try a drop goal. When was the last time the Scarlets had a drop goal? I've never seen one. I don't think I can remember one.
Yeah, I think I want to say we took one in maybe the semi-final against Clermont, but I'm not 100% sure now thinking about it.
I can't think of one.
No. But again, that goes to show that, who's coaching this side. We don't have a 10. We don't have a tactical kicker who's someone who can really give us that insight into the modern game. Like, yes, Peel was a great 9 during his time, but the game again has evolved since him. This is obviously something that's very tricky at the minute, and not having every single position covered on, even just getting someone, like you said, on a consultancy basis would probably do wonders. So who obviously, I know you've picked Johnny Williams and Vai Fafita as two standouts. Who else really impressed you in this game?
Oh, I haven't talked about those two enough yet. I've even got to show the highlights reels that I prepared. So I'm going to do that.
Audio
Thanks.
listeners, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, Verfafita, obviously we missed him. He's our marquee player. He's the big name for the Scarlets, and he's a close personal friend of the podcast as well, obviously. So he was very active. You wouldn't know that he'd been away for a long time. We talked about the line out steal, but there's also just him showing up as an edge forward. He's probably our best edge forward, and I really liked as well the the fact that they had Plumtree on the bench and they subbed in for Plumtree, which is what we've been saying on the pod all season. And they finally did it, and lo and behold, he looked amazing at it. And Plumtree came on, played like a man possessed, got 2 turnovers, and had the most carries per minute of any player in the whole match. So that works. So I would stick with this plan, please, Dwayne. Josh McLeod, I think, deserves a huge shout out for this, not just this game, for this season as a whole. I think he's made a huge impact as he's come in. And then, Johnny Williams is the other one. So, Johnny, would you say that we're seeing the best of Johnny this season?
Yeah. I'll be honest, since he's had that sort of call or not call from Wales, well, whatever way round it is, it's sort of a bit of a weight off his shoulders, or at least that's what it appears to be, and he's just playing how he wants to play.
He's varying up his game nicely. You don't know whether he's going to crash it or whether he's going to run sideways and beat a man and pass it. And obviously the pullback pass, no look pullback pass for the Nicholas try, very good. So I think he deserves a lot of credit because he's really he could have thrown his toys out of the pram a bit with what happened with Wales and kind of like let his shoulders drop, but he's gone, no, you know what, I'm going to prove how good I am. So I think Wales are obviously stacked at 12 at the moment, and even at the Scarlets, he's not the first choice 12 because we've got Eddie James, but you have to say he's playing amazing.
Yeah, he really is. And this season, especially seeing him in that 13 shirt, I think he's only ever been used as a battering ram 12, having him pushed into, that position of playing 13 now for, he had a few appearances there at the back end of last season. I think it's not forced him, but allowed him to show more sides of his game. And, I don't know whose head is clicking and go, hang on, what? You've been able to do that this whole time, really? I think it's been that sort of moment. And, this is what we're hearing, if you can ever get a player who is equally adept at 12 and 13, you hold on to them for...
He's quite unique. I can't think of any other centres who was like him, apart from one. But if I say it, people will laugh.
Go for it.
He's a bit like Damien Dialende in that he can mix his game up and he can distribute and he can crash and things. Now, people aren't going to like that, especially opposition fans who tune in, who's going to clip me up saying that Johnny Williams is the Welsh Damien Dialende.
Well, so hang on. That means that if we put Eddie James and Johnny Williams together, we've got the Welsh Dan Carter and the Welsh Damien Dialende together. This is amazing.
It's just facts, people. What do you want me to say? Ben, is your microphone working?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you now. Cool.
Yep.
That's a lovely little bit there. So yeah, I think we all love Johnny. I think we all feel a bit betrayed for him, but it's working out positively for the Scarlets. So I'm happy either way.
Does anyone think though he's a Gatlin 12? Because I think that's what Gatlin likes there.
I think Gatlin wants him to be, because Gatlin seems
not a good thing either.
Yeah, Gatland just seems to be so desperate for Jamie Roberts Mark too, and I don't think he's that. He's a
Yeah,
bit.
no,
He's not quite that, but
he's a
I don't know.
yeah. He's
I
not
think
like
He's an
he's
Peters, maybe
in-between.
Curry,
he's in between, isn't he? That's a
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
which is probably what we need in like this day and age, though,
yeah, it
of
Mm.
is.
rugby, isn't it?
You
Bit of
can't just
variety,
run through people unless you've got 15 men that can do it, and we certainly do not have that. So
Well, if it because he is playing well enough at 13, if this isn't a Wales podcast, obviously, but if the plan is to have a distributor at 12, if that's Ben Thomas, then and if they're looking for like the George North style 13 of a physical 13, maybe Johnny is that answer. So I wouldn't rule him out getting back into the Wales camp because he's playing as well as any 13 in Wales at the moment.
yeah, I mean, this is something that anyone who's listened to this pre-autumn, this is something that I wanted to see Eddie and Johnny together in Wales shirts. I think that would have been a combination that would have worked alongside Sam at 10. I know people would, going to moan at me and whinge, but let's look at what actually happened over this autumn. People were throwing question marks up at my selections on Rap Pod. Come on, it couldn't have been any worse, could it?
No,
But
that's true.
someone who we
No.
have got a little bit excited about, earlier in the season was Ellis Mee.
Yeah.
Obviously, you saw him live in person. You saw him
I think he
literally.
played well.
He did. Yeah, so Huw, you saw him live in person. I think it was at Leicester, where he was on the pitch, but he was still as tall as you.
Yeah.
And he had a good outing in that first game. None of us thought he deserved really to be dropped. And, he went to play for Llandovery, and the TV game he was on, he was just, again, another level. These players who are in that in between, they're too good for the SRC, but they're not quite cracking us at the minute. So how did we feel Ellis went?
You go first, man.
I thought he played well. I thought like every carry he had, he was gaining meters or he's looking to see where of space. I just think he needs a bit more size on him because I don't know. I felt like he was being carried around the way a bit too much, but like he's still young, isn't he? At the end of the day. But yeah, I think he played really well.
You can't coach someone to be as tall as a lamppost, to be fair. So I
No,
think he
but
will be. But if he does bulk
yeah,
up, he'll be a hell of a specimen.
yeah,
I mean,
that's what I mean. Yeah, he would be.
Yeah.
something that we seem to have an issue
He's
with
got like a
now is
Liam Williams figure on.
yeah. Something we seem to have an issue with now is we've got a lot of back three players who are primarily fullbacks. So Ellis Mears in this category, Tom Rogers in this category. I think people will throw Blair Murray into the argument now, although I think he is probably predominantly a winger. Tommy Lewis is the same. Steph Evans obviously started early in his career as more of a fullback than a winger. So we do have a bit of issue here with boys who like being in the backfield and attacking our way. So
It's what Toulouse do.
it's what the Scarlets do to his copy. We've been through this.
It's what Toulouse do.
But yeah,
When the 2015 All Blacks have played with two fullbacks in the back three with Israel Dagg and Ben Smith.
this like when we're seeing the best of these players, it's from
We won the
deep,
league with Steph, Sanjay, and Johnny McNiven.
Johnny. It's not a trend that's going away, and I'm liking it. I thought Ellis had a good game. I don't think we utilised him as well as we could have. I don't think he was on the ball half as much as you like, but I think we can say the same thing for Blair Murray on the other side. But understandably, with his
Yeah,
workload over
he's
the
very
last month,
quiet.
Mm.
Yeah, I thought he was very quiet on the weekend. He didn't really carry the ball that much, did he?
Yeah, it didn't come his way.
to be
No.
to be fair, we were discussing this last week and we were talking like who are our options? Because if Blair wasn't fit, that would have been Jack Davis. That would have been three fullbacks, coming onto the pitch. And whilst, yes, I agree, Jack would have done a job. It's brilliant knowing that you've got those players wanting to play for the club. I think that's what we really need to take from this. We've got boys who are involved in every single autumn international, whether it was starting, whether it's bench, whether it's a mixture, and they wanted to be back in for this game. So I think that's
Are
where we need to
you
take most pride.
worried about that? Are you worried about that we're going full strength for every game?
No, because I don't. If we were talking last season, then yes, because I didn't think we had probably more than 23 to 25 players that could really come into the squad and we keep the same strength. Right now, I'm thinking we're closer to 30 players where we can have a couple drop out, have a rest week, and still be the same standard. Like at tight head right now, I think Dwayne has said that Archer Holtz is fit for this coming week, and Sam Wainwright's 30 minutes off the bench. Unless Archer is literally blowing him blowing him off the park in training, I wouldn't be dropping Wainwright after that performance. He was absolutely brilliant. So, we've getting into a position where we've got, three. I wouldn't say three for each position, but obviously we've got a solid 30, 32 players who can come into this 15-23 and not see us drop as much. But obviously, the key ones are halfbacks, and hopefully once we see Archie and Sam, both fit, I think we're going to be laughing. I think we're going to see, Decide take another step up. Joe Roberts coming back. Joe Roberts is an insane player. How he hasn't got more Wales caps already boils me to hell and back.
Because he's been injured.
Even when
he gone to the World
injured.
Cup if he wasn't injured.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, look back in the last Six Nations, he only had the one start and got injured. He should have been starting every single game. That's how good he is. There's no one that defends like him in Wales, in the UK, as a Welsh person, probably in the world, period. There is no one that can defend like him. I'm including, I know he's recently retired, but, you put Foxy of the last 3 years against Joe Roberts, and Joe Roberts blows him out of the water.
Yeah, Joe Roberts was legitimately getting picked ahead of Foxy by the end, and correctly. So
he offers so much, and he has got that top-end pace. This is the one thing I'm concerned about with Joe, is if he's lost any of that pace when he comes back.
Yeah, with knee injuries, the knee injuries tend to... You never seem to come back the same from knee injuries.
It's a very bad injury as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They had to...
What are you, Ben? Would you want to be seeing more rotation, or are you happy to go full strength every single week?
I was surprised they went full strength in Glasgow, if I'm honest. But yeah, probably would like to see more full strength. Just because I think we have a good opportunity to get ahead this season in a sense of try and get in the top 8. I'd like to see, and also do well in the Challenge Cup. So yes, and we have got players coming back. So we have got, I don't know when Steph Evans is due back. Tommy Lewis, any ideas?
Both around January, February. I think Steph is ahead of Tommy.
So we're looking quite strong in that department. I think it's going to give like Dwayne a few headaches trying to choose, because I think they're all probably first choice in my eyes. That's the difficult thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like even when
we said this in the past, though, where we have got like so much choice. Usually, who's left? Last season it was who's left.
Yeah, you got to say that Touchwood so far, the injury, the fitness of the squad has been better than it has been in previous seasons. We'd have had an injury crisis by now in another season.
Yeah, like one where I'm really thankful we haven't at the minute is at hooker, because we've had Elias and Van der Merwe, Warthog. It's just been those two. Like Sean Evans made his comeback the week before this for the Quins. We're expecting Isaac Young coming back either this week or next week. So those boys have played a lot of rugby. Elias even more so with Wales. Now I don't think we drop that much if we bring in Sean Evans or Isaac Young on the bench. Obviously, if you're talking about them starting, then yes, it's a different conversation. But, having them there for 15, 20 minutes, especially Isaac, watching him in the Under-20s World Cup, he looked a completely different beast to what I've seen before from him. You obviously, Huw, you've heard me ramble on about Harry Thomas, who's a year younger. Finally getting to see Isaac play properly, it's made me think, Christ, we might have more than one cracking hooker coming through. So this is promising for us, and we've seen the progression of Jack Price, how he's come through. You know, we can actually say we've got 4 locks that we can probably use, and then we've got Morgan Jones, who's, let's be honest, he had a brilliant season last year, and you know, according to stats, he should have been up there for Wales contention. And then we've also got Ed Scragg, who's another one of those players who just looks too good for the SRC. So we are, even though we've struck back a lot with this, you know, salary cap dropping down so much, we're still building a very, very strong squad. It seems that we've got a very strong senior academy. It's just making sure all them boys are fit as well. Let's have a look. Where does this lead us into?
I think we need to do the plug-in of the giveaway that we've got.
Oh, a giveaway. Yes, we do have a giveaway. So, how you know it slightly, I say slightly, you know everything about this. just go for it. Ring it off. Tell the people what they could win, which, I mean, you'd have to go there then. So is it really a win? But yeah, crack on, but.
Well, so we've got tickets to give away. So the big game that's coming up towards the end of the year is obviously the away trip to Swansea, and we have got 2 tickets to give away to that match. So if you fancy going to it, we're calling it Paint Swansea Scarlets. That's the aim of the game. It's your last opportunity you'll get to go to the Swansea.com, because obviously they're moving from next season. Well, that's the plan anyway. We'll see, but they're intending to move away from it. So yeah, this is your last opportunity, and you could go completely for free by winning 2 tickets with us here at Saucepans and Sidesteps. All you have to do is fill in the Google Sheet that Lee G will be sharing on socials next week. So by the time this goes up, there'll be a link to it down in the pinned comment below, or you can find it on our Twitter or on our Facebook. You find it there, it'll be pinned as well. We'll share it all the places, all the presenters will find it. All you have to do is fill that in, and then Lee G will process it, and a winner will be announced in due course. But let's make the most of our last visit to the Swansea.com and really make our presence felt. Ben, do you enjoy an away day to Swansea?
No, if I'm honest. I don't particularly like going to that stadium. I am going to it though. Just obviously, you know, chance Scarlets as high as possible.
There we go. That's one less person in the draw. Look, people, you can do it now.
Yeah.
And it's not on Boxing Day this year, so it's easier to argue.
I prefer Boxing Day. I've always loved a Boxing Day game.
Yeah.
I was gutted when they changed it, but I mean, next year it's going to be Boxing Day again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we have our own stadium, so.
And also quick shout out to the jersey that I'm wearing, because I promised someone that I'd talk about it. So this is the heritage jersey, the vintage jersey from Castor. So this is the first Castor Scarlets bit of merch that I've bought. Is it still on? Mark, were you telling me that this one's not on sale anymore?
It was on Black Friday sale, wasn't it?
No, the other one was, because I've bought the other one.
Okay. So the smaller badge, isn't it?
Yeah, the smaller badge with Castor everywhere.
Yeah. So this is the proper like retro one, long sleeves. I've really loved it. It's really grown on me as I've owned it, and I think it looks really posh. But one bit of advice: if you can't get to try one on in the Scarlet shop or whatever, think about getting a size down than you normally get, because someone pointed out to me on socials that if you look at the size chart, it is kind of one up from normal. So I would say, if you're a medium, get a small. If you're a large, think about getting a medium. Have a look at the size chart online. I didn't, and my one is slightly baggy on me, to be honest. I could have gotten away with a small. So
who? Come on, a bloody kid age 7 would have been baggy on you, but
okay, well, the length, Mark, the length. So yeah, but genuinely a piece of Scarlet's merch that I would recommend to other people. And it's that time of year. So if you're looking for Christmas presents for the Scarlets person in your life, definitely get this one. Maybe it's a bit too expensive to be a stocking filler, but it's still nice. So get them one of these. Or if you just want to get a Christmas present for yourself, maybe you've got a bit of Christmas money, can't think of anything better to spend it on personally.
Boom. Honestly, that does look really nice. And, you know, that comes up in a sale, I think. Yeah, I'm looking on my shoulder in case you can hear me, but yeah, I think I'm gonna nab that. Yeah. So, am I allowed to do the community? Am I allowed?
You're allowed to do the community.
Yay. Okay. As always, I get to share my screen now. Let's find it. I'm on the wrong bit. 1 second. Don't want to show people that. They are not interested in that bit whatsoever. Okay. So for our audio listeners, here is our lovely screen of all the community fixtures and results of this past and coming week. So, are we ready to go?
Yeah. I'm sat here on tenterhooks, mate.
Well, I can't see you anymore. I can only see my screen. Okay. We start in the SRC. Llandovery with a comfortable 28-12 win at home to Bridgend. It's just Llandovery. They're just plugging away now. They're getting victories. They're getting back to that stage now where they're winning without necessarily playing very well. So, boys that we had involved, we had Ed Scragg in the 15, try to his name, first try of the season, well done. We also had Morgan Jones in 23, and I need to double check this player, Morgan McClem, or Mayor Clem, I'm pronunciations got me, might be an academy member, I need to double check him. Carmarthen Quins had they lost away to Newport, but losing to Newport is nothing to be frowned upon.
31-20 is not a bad scoreline away in Newport.
No. And with the new scoring system this year, win by 15 points, you get an extra bonus point. We've restricted Newport to just the 5-pointer. So a lot of boys involved in this one. So in the backs, all starting, we had Yori Badham, Gabriel McDonald, and Ellis Price first start at 10 for Quins. He picked up a penalty. And in the forwards, we had a sublime back row of Ben Williams, Keanu Evans, and Carwyn Tuipulotu.
Dream team.
It is a dream team. Aled Thomas came on at half-time in this game, and quite frankly, Quins looked a completely different side. I think the second half score was 19-17. So it just goes to show that this Quins side isn't the one we saw last season. They're really not far off that top four. They are really fighting that middle section of the table. So it's really great for them. It's great to watch too. Like, I'm looking forward to them when they get their Espedwarec live game now in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah. So, are you surprised we're not seeing more Scarlets boys playing for the Drovers? Because it feels like Quins is the main academy team.
Yeah, it does feel that way, and I am to some extent, but I'm also not, because I know that some of the boys that are with Llandovery are currently out injured. We're talking Josh Morse, we're talking Harry Thomas, Will Evans again. There's Tian Sparrow, got to chuck him in as well. These boys are either injured or they're not ready, back from injury. So I would like to see, obviously, we've had Jack Davis, play a lot, but again, he was probably involved up in Glasgow as a travelling reserve. Ellis Mee, another one that would have been involved, had it not been for the Scarlets needing him. So, yes, I want to see more boys, with the Drovers, but at the same time, I understand why we're not seeing quite as many as we do with the Quins. Another boy we do need to shout out for, who is playing in the SRC, is Dylan Alford, who is playing up with RGC. He's a Bethesda boy, so naturally he's staying up with them. I think he's had his second appearance now this weekend, so he's going strong. Games for this weekend for them, we got Llandovery at home to Pontypool, and Carmarthen Quins travelling to Swansea. I would predict both Llandovery and Quins coming away with wins on this one. Pontypool, been rather average. They've had a lot of issues off field as well. And Swansea can't pick up a win for no love, no money. So unfortunate for them. Now, as we drop down into the truly amateur community game, it is Cup week. So there's a lot of mixed match fixtures in here. So starting the Premiership, we saw Narberth pick up, we saw two massive wins for us this week. Narberth 15-12 away to Brecon, and Newcastle Emlyn 36-10 at home to Bargoed.
Well, that's a big result for Newcastle Emlyn. They've not picked up any wins this season.
Well, it's the same for Narberth. This is both their second league wins. This is absolutely, and Brecon and Bargoed are really in the best of rest after Ponty, Merthyr, Neath. So it's really impressive to see these victories. Llangennech travelling to Crosskeys was postponed. Games for this week, we got Llangennech at home to Newcastle Emlyn and Narberth at home to Neath, so no cup action for any of our boys there. Championship West result, we got Crymych winning 26-22 away to Dunvant. Sheffield Wanderers against Meister Quince was postponed, and Ammanford went down 25-13 away to Tondy. Tondy flying quite high at the minute, so no shame there. Fixture in Championship West for this week is Crymych at home to Trebanos. Now, Championship Cup quarter-final stage, Sheffield Wanderers are at home to Kenvigel. Expecting the ones to do well here for us. Down in for Division 1 West, Aberystwyth 43-16 winners at home to St Clears. Kidwelly 21-18 winners at home to Vellinville. Tenby 57-12 at home over Pencloud. One Island 20-19 winners against Pontedillice, and Hendy winning 34-16 at home to Bury Port. So home is the way in Division 1 West. Fixtures for this week, we got Bury Port at home to Kidwelly. That is always a tasty fixture. You cannot miss that one if you're in the area. And we have to include them at One Island at home to Pencloud. So Division 1 Cup. Charming. Division 1 Cup round of 16 fixtures. We got Aberystwyth at home to Hendy and Tenby travelling to Bridgend Athletic. Division 2 West, we got Lampeter winning 23-5 at home to Carmarthen Athletic. Larne against Betters was postponed. Whitland going down 30 points to 8 away to Loughor. And Nancaredig winning 33-23 at home to Milford. Fishguard with a bye. Who doesn't love an odd-numbered league? Fixtures for this week, so we've got Milford at home to Loughor, Nancaredig hosting Fishguard. Division 2 West Central, Brynhaman picking up a win, 24-12 at home to Brinkethin. Get in here, boys. Great to see. So, Division 2 Cup, we're at the round of 16 stage. So, Brynhaman are hosting Caerphilly, Lampeter are travelling to Cardiff Quins, and Carmarthen Athletic hosting Abercrave. Division 3 West, Amnited against Ponteberyn was postponed. Aberaeron winning 23-7 away to Cardigan. Llangadog 40-21 winners at home to Cefnithin. Tumble against Haverfordwest postponed. And to Christ winning 26-13 at home to Llandailo. Fixtures for this week, we got Army United at home to Tumble and Cefnithin at home to Llandailo. Division 3 Cup round of 16, Llangadog at home to Ponteberyn. Cardigan travelling to Newtown and to Christ hosting Aberaeron. For West A now, Narberth Athletic against Langam was postponed. Neyland won 29-8 at home to Newcastle Lemon Dragiau. Pembroke 38-24 winners against Crymych Tyro. St David's going down 17-21 at home to Pembroke Dock Harlequins. Llanabudder with a bye. Fixtures in 4 West A, we got Langam at home to Llanabudder and St David's at home to Pembroke. 4 West B result, Llandibby winning 21-12 away to Fall Bay. Hughes, New Dock
Johnny score alert.
61-29 at home against Pontiac. Well done. You must be very proud.
Pontiac's time wasters. Why did you even come? Just give us the title now. Honestly, if you're not going to give us a game, don't turn up.
Oh wow, he's in that mood now. Pennebank 15-11 winners at home to Furness. Tregaron 34-22 at home against Pantavannan. Trimsaran 66-7 winners at home against Binya. Biggest result in the league. I just had to say that for the sake of it. Fixtures for this week now. We've got Binya at home to Tregaron, Furness at home to Pontiac, and New Docksars travelling to Pantavannan. Division 4 Cup round of 16. Newcastle Lemon Dragiau hosting Neyland. Trimsaran travelling to Ferndale. Llandibby travelling to Llanelech. Narberth Athletic travelling to Pontyclean. And Crymych Tyro travelling to Tylerstown. Honest to God, it seems like some of our boys may as well just, grab a bus together. Trimsaran, Narberth and Crymych all head into the Rhondda. It's like, Ferndale and Tylerstown are literally touching each other, and Pontyclean are only a few miles away. Seriously, they may as well just group together and get a few coaches. Make things easier. Before I go, we do have some... Well, it's not youth.
It's a youth week, Ben.
It's not a youth week. It's the under 16s. It's the Dewar Shield. Well, we didn't have anyone left in the Dewar Shield. Pembroke, we're thinking of you. Morgan Griffiths Plate semi-final action. Ceredigion, surprisingly, 3-12 losers against Mynydd Mawr. I'll be honest, Ceredigion won this fixture in the pool stage. Didn't expect it coming. Carmarthen going down 12-10 against Cannon Valley, so unlucky for them. So the final of the Morgan Griffiths Plate will be Mynydd Mawr against Cannon Valley in the Lewis Miller Bowl. the only team we cared about were Llanelli, who were 20 points to 5 winners against Isline Schools. They will now be in a repeat of last year's final, Llanelli against Merthyr. So that is a big one,
big
and that
game.
is your community roundup. And who? Youth is coming next week, but so don't you worry about that. Okay, I'll stop sharing now. And I'm back. So how are we all feeling now?
Good.
Good.
Informed.
Uninformed. Are you're happy with that win? I know you are, Huw. So
Delighted.
do we have anything else to discuss before we go on to Bayonne, my friend?
I'm afraid we do, Mark.
Oh,
I'm afraid we do. We've had a letter. It says, Buongiorno. My name is Giovanni from Parma, and I have kidnapped Jack from Lucca, and I'm holding him to ransom. I don't know where Lucca is, but all of his social media refers to a club in Llanelli, so I assume he's one of yours. Pay up, or you'll never get Jack from Lucca back again. P.S. Please pay up. He won't stop going on about driving malls.
I'm skint. That's the first thing I'm going to say.
What do you think, Martin Ben? Are we going to pay up? Are we going to get Jack from Lucca back from Parma?
Oh, Ben's quiet.
Me.
I think the answer's there, but I think Jack's gone for good.
Oh, well, we'll see if he escapes next week.
I honestly think you were hoping that we were going, yes, we'll pay for Jack, but no. I don't think many of us are interested, but here, leave him be. Then again, he's probably burning his skin off in Parma. He's probably in the shade. Okay, so that brings us on to a fixture this week, and we now switch to European action, the Challenge Cup. Traveling to, do we call them top 14 high flyers?
Well, they're fifth, so I had a bit of a look at Bayonne. Yeah, so obviously, I watch a bit of top 14, so I know a bit about Bayonne. They won 3 games in a row before the autumn internationals. They beat Stade Francais in the top 14 last night, but that's not saying much because Stade Francais are pretty bad at this point. Fifth in the league. They've got 7 wins from 11 in total, so pretty good. And I think there might be an away win or 2 thrown in there as well, which is remarkable for the top 14. Interesting, though, they've scored 33 tries but conceded 35. So their defense isn't their strong suit. Like I said, they still won 7 from 11, but they have allowed a few tries to go past them. Thing about the French is you don't know what team they're going to field in the Challenge Cup. Last time we played them in the Challenge Cup, we beat them 20 points to 7, and that was away in 2023. Did you go to that one, Ben? Do you go to much away games in France?
No, I've never been to a game in France. I'd like to, but no.
Okay, well, maybe this will be a good one to go to because like I said, we did win last time we went there.
Yeah.
The top of, in terms of stats, top of the top 14 for average territory, 57% territory per game. I'm not sure how important that is. Third for tackles broken, or I guess that's defenders beaten in what we call them in English.
Oh, yes, it's the translations again, isn't it?
Yeah, French.
I like this game.
French stats translation. So if you might remember this one, Mark, from last time, they are top of the top 14 for scratched balloons.
Stealing the ball. Come on.
Stealing the ball. They are top of the top 14 for turnovers, and they're also one of the very top teams in Europe for scoring tries off turnovers. So we've got to be careful of that. That's the one thing that I'd say that we've got to look out for is giving them transitions, giving them turnover over ball. That's what they like to score from. They're good with dominant carries. Their 22 exits are good. They kick mostly to exit their 22s. They don't run from deep very much. And a bit like us, they're very good at line-out steals. So things to watch out for there. So I would say number one thing is avoid giving them turnovers to play off. And if he's playing, watch out for Cirelli Mangala, their Fijian outside centre. Unbelievable player. I think still technically the top scorer in the top 14 so far this season with 6 or 7 tries. Scored 2 against Toulouse. Because he might be tied with someone else by now, but technically by counting. Yeah. So the thing with Bayonne is you don't know what kind of team they're going to play. French teams sometimes don't take the Challenge Cup particularly seriously. And like I said, they're doing well in the top 14, which might suggest that they
They're not
might.
edged it.
Yeah, but it goes both ways there because the teams that are doing well rotate because they don't want to jeopardize the doing well. And the teams that are doing badly rotate because they don't want to get injuries and face relegation. So it just ends up that most teams, apart from La Rochelle and Toulouse, basically, don't put out strong teams in the European Cups. But yeah, so there's my little rundown of Bayonne. I don't know
Okay, so
what do you guys
what
think?
I got from that is we're winning by like 30, 40 points because Bayonne will not send a full team. Will not send a full team,
Yeah.
obviously, home ground.
Yeah,
But
nice home ground as well, and they do a good atmosphere in Bayonne. It's a bit of a carnival atmosphere, so I'm told that if you do go to an away game, it's a good one to go to, a very good one to go to.
And
Atlantic
they leak
Coast.
tries, which means more tries for us. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'd like to see them like try, a few moves like they did in the last game. That decoy with Caudo and Fifita.
Yeah,
the
that
best
I
was a
love
scrum.
that.
Yeah.
I love that. I was like, oh, I haven't seen that in a long time. So I like seeing
yeah,
that. If you try things like that against them, I think could scare them a little bit.
but this is exactly something that I scream at. I don't care if it comes off. I want
Just
to
try
see you
something different.
try.
Yeah.
I want to see you, even if it's you got to even if it's whether it's off set piece. It's nice and simple to get a set play off a set piece. But even if you got to go 3 or 4 phases to restructure, try something. It's not going to kill anybody. And quite frankly, when we see those things, even if we get like a half break, or if we get like 5-10 meters further down the line, it excites people. It makes it more exciting to watch. And quite frankly, with the
It does.
players that we could potentially see coming back in, like we've spoken about, a lot of injured players should be back over this week and next week. Is it a case of we more or less stick with a similar sort of 15 and ease these boys back in, or do we just, go hell for leather, get what we would consider our best 15 and see how it goes?
Is Joe going to be back?
Potentially.
So he could be on the bench, surely, for this game. I wouldn't start him.
See, if I've got any variation of Eddie, Joe, and Johnny available to me, Johnny's always my one on the bench because he's the impact.
Yeah.
He will always be he's the one of those
Strong
three that
carrier,
can come off the bench and do things.
Mm.
I didn't see it from Eddie whenever he's done it for us or for Wales. Like I've been screaming, Eddie is not an impact player. He is brilliant from start to finish, but he's not an impact player. And the same goes for Joe. You want Joe for his defensive nous, and there's no point only having that for 25 minutes in the game.
So would you start him then?
100%. They're fit.
Okay.
Start them.
Okay.
I don't think there's any need to rest any of the non-international boys because obviously they've all had a rest. Plumtree wasn't exactly maxed out in terms of minutes for Wales. So I don't.
He didn't play long for us either, did he, last week? So
yeah, exactly. He came off the bench last week. So I don't think there's a need to rest him. I think you got to start Henry Thomas. One thing that's true of all French teams is they got big packs. So I'd be starting him. I'd be bringing Matthias again. Another player who didn't play hardly at all for Wales, so he doesn't need that much of a rest. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe Ryan Elias get a rest. Maybe if Sean Evans is fit, maybe he'd be on the bench with Marnus starting. Apart from that, would you? It depends if Sam's fit, whether you bring Sam back in. Blair Murray's another one I could see us resting.
yeah.
Maybe it depends on Tom's fitness, obviously, and you got someone like. Do you move Max Page to the wing if Joe's back? Things like that. So those are the questions. But like I said, anyone who's not an international, I would say there's no need to rest them.
No, I'm
I think we need to
100%
go
with you.
full strength team. Get that first win.
Yeah, for me, I think
on the back line.
Yeah.
I think Blair is the only person I would consider rotating, and that is literally only if Tom is, back, and and Sam is as well.
I think Dwayne said a couple of weeks for Tom. I think that's what he said. So I can't see him being back this week.
Yeah, well,
and it's traveling as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm hearing that for whatever reason, the Welsh contingent that have come back quite tired, as in they've done a lot running and conditioning over the last month. So drips and drabs, I think we're probably going to see them filtered out. But like I said, when we get our full complement, or even close to our full complement, we do have a 30 strong team that can move in and move out. It's like we just spoke with Kamara and Quinn's, getting Ben Williams and Caro into a Tuipulotu. Those boys could easily come into our back row, whether it's on the bench or even starting, and do a job. We have got, due to a lot of different things, injuries over the last couple of seasons, we have developed quite a lot of options there, which is great for us. I mean, who do we want to see more than anyone else? If we're talking about boys who are coming back, is like, for me, I need to see Joe back on a pitch.
Yeah, Joe's the big one.
Yeah,
Joe's the big one, definitely.
If we get Sam back, do we shift Lloyd to 15, or do we put?
The thing is,
it's just different options.
You think so, Ben?
Yeah, I think we should bring Sam back. And then maybe move Lloyd to 10 later on in the game, maybe, or vice versa.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's difficult because Lloyd can be good at 10. Like, I have enjoyed watching him at 10. But then I feel more confident when Sam's playing. I don't know why. It's just
structure.
Yeah, there's a bit of structure. And I find Lloyd tries to go on his own too much. And I think with the big boys out there, I don't know if he'd be, isolated quite a bit. She gets hit by one of those. So,
If they both come back in, and they both come back in relatively close, I'm talking maybe only 80%, but Sam Costello and Joe Roberts improves our defense drastically.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that.
I always trust Sam. He gives his 100% tackling. You just see him constantly just looking for the next man with the ball. He's insane.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against Sam on the bench, though.
No,
it has worked for us, isn't it? Bringing Sam on the last 20. So,
and if Archie's, did we think that Archie might be back?
Again, that's another potential.
I don't think so. What I saw by socials today was the fact that he was just having a run out, his first full run out. So I can't see him being ready.
Okay. To be fair, maybe a start against Black Lion might be better for Archie.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, considering how we went last time against Black Lion, I can only see us going 100%.
Yeah.
We've got to make a point. We've got to make a point this time around.
I'll be honest, I was quite expecting the Scarlets social media team to be doing some sort of redemption arc over the last week or so, coming through to this
payback
time. Yeah. So are we positive about Bayonne? Are we positive we're going to get a win? Or
it's just because I don't know what to expect from Bayonne. I don't know what they're going to do in terms of their team selection. They are a really good team. They don't lose many, if any, games at home in the top 14. But if they pick a scratch team, then obviously it's a completely different conversation.
You know what? So, we've been looking for a nickname for you since Catboy, but I think it's got to be Robin, because you're always on the fence. Come on. Yeah, no, I'll be honest, I think this is going to be slightly easier than we're all thinking now. I do think Bayonne will go slightly weaker. I don't have a doubt in my mind about that. I watch and go fully loaded now, and I'll look like a fool. But it's said that for the Bulls, so I'm going to go for it again.
They do play in fits and starts, though, Bayonne. They don't play for 80, is one thing that I've noticed about them. You can probably say that about most French teams, is that they can have like flashes of, oh my God, these are amazing, and then do nothing for 20 minutes.
Yes, but this is something we also saw with the Bulls as well. They play good for 60, and then they're just dreadful. Is there a pattern to how Bayonne play, or is it just absolutely random? They can have a crap first 20.
Like I say, they like to dominate territory. They do like to. They can use their backline. The top 14 is such an arm wrestle of a league that they sometimes get drawn into just mauls and scrums and trucking it up and things. But when they do go to the backline, they got some really nice passing shapes. I'm telling you, Mangala, their Fijian outside centre, is rapid, and he's a gold medal winner at the Tokyo Olympics, and it's not just how fast he is, it's like he goes from not moving to at full speed in a second. Like
His acceleration's insane.
it's terrifying. So
So what you mean is if he gets picked, yeah.
yeah, if he
Avoid,
gets
avoid, avoid.
yeah, if he ges picked, it's going to be a tough game, and they got a really experienced halfback duo as well with uh I can't remember their names now, but trust me, it's a really experienced halfback duo. And Scarlets
And
legends, two Scarlets legends, Peter Schultz, the prop, and Uze Kasim plays number 8 for them.
Oh yeah, he does.
oh, I forgot about Kasim.
Yeah.
Should never let him go.
No.
Nah. No, Schultz, he was that was a decision that kind of baffled me at the time. And I know, we're playing in hindsight here, but he literally he only came in for a short while and he was outstanding. I'm surprised we didn't actually keep him on.
Mm.
Kasim, yeah, I understood the the
The
process.
call of the pan au chocolat was too strong.
100%, 100%. And I'm confident going into this game. I would. I've called for more balance in terms of, strength of our starting 15 and our bench. I think we saw more of that, this past week against Glasgow, especially front row wise. Henry Thomas is by far our strongest tight end scrummager, and then we had Elias and Matthias, who are our strongest 1 and 2. So there was a nice balance coming in, and we saw how effective that could be. So yeah, I'm happy on that basis. We need to keep this Fafita Plumtree plan going, like you alluded to earlier. That'd be brilliant. The backs is just who's going to be fit, and not who's going to be fit of what we got, who's going to be fit of coming back, because these boys changes everything. It changes really how we attack the game. If we could, we've already spoken about having Sam a 10 or bench, Lloyd, whatever, but this really is critical to how we play and what sort of game plan we're going to go out with. I can't see us wanting Lloyd to start if we have a choice. I don't think we're going to want him, as Ben alluded to, taking these half gaps and literally getting held up and turning the ball over.
Yeah.
Because this is what they will inevitably do. Knowing they
It's
can see
genes, isn't it?
it
He just
is.
sees it and he just goes for it. I don't blame him. He is class when it comes off, but we can't afford to.
But at the same time, you've got to say, well, hang on, they've conceded more tries than they scored, and they're winning games. So
Yeah,
they
exactly.
don't mind players going through the gap, which makes us think we're going to get a lot of gains out wide if we go for it. Same as we saw Tom Rogers, early in the first block, where when he gets on the ball, he makes some big gains. If we make those sort of plays, that sort of structured game plan, I think we can go around them. And I know we've talked about needing to go, not needing, but we like to go through the middle more often than not. I think there's a case of this is definitely a defense we can break down.
Yeah, so they 1 in 5 of their missed tackles leads to a line break, which is quite high. That's the 7th most in Europe. Now, like I said with the stats on Optra on this league, you can take or leave them because Leinster and Saracens are 4th and 5th on this list, and Bath are 3rd. So, don't get too excited by that. But there's things we can go after, and there's clear things that we need to look out for. Like I said, playing off turnovers.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, them liking territory, I think, is a positive for us. We do better on transition. We do better from deep. I know they always say, "Oh, you want to have more territory now," but I find that when we're in probably 20 meters inside of our own half, that area, I think that's when we produce some of our, our magic moments. That's where we just go, you know what? We're not so far back. We have to get rid of it. We're not so far forward. We have to be, smart with it. Let's try something. That's our set play area, and that's where we love being. And seeing those numbers, it seems that's what we're going to get a lot of on the weekend.
Absolutely.
So are we all going for a Scarlets win? That's the final
well,
question.
Well, we do on this podcast. It's a bit of a redundant question.
By how much then? How much?
By 3. Scarlets by 3.
3. See, as we've improved since the last time we've been down there. I know you can say they have, but I'm not paying much attention to that. I'm going for us by 17. I think we're going to be comfortable.
I'm going to say 7. That's by 7.
Boring, the pair of you. Absolutely boring. Come on.
I don't know. That's what I felt all season. I'm like, we're meant to be scoring tries. We're not having high scoring games, are we?
Yeah.
So I reckon we'll keep them, starve them, and just get some tries in there.
One thing we haven't mentioned is we're not sure whether this game is watchable.
It is on. It's EPCR TV. You got to pay for it, and then it's the live stream of it is on S4 at 9 p.m. at night.
Is it not on Premier Sports? I thought all games were.
No, only all the Champions Cup games are only select challenge. This is the only game that we. This is the only game all season.
Yeah, which is the same as it was on TNT as well. TNT, I don't think showed hardly any Challenge Cup games last season, apart from the final, obviously. But yeah. So we'll be petitioning Lee G for the Rat bank account to stretch to a EPCR TV ticket for the weekend then.
Yeah, but I think they might think something sus when there's about 20 of us trying to log on. Okay. I think that does bring us to the end now. How we haven't got nothing else hidden in the pockets, down the sides.
No, just subscribe if you've gotten this far. Well done.
If you've gone this far, well done. Fair play to you. Fair play to us. Again, thank you everyone listening. And if you like what we're doing, comment. We love engagement. We always do. Thank you guys for joining me as always, and we'll do it again next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay.
That was Saucepans and Sidesteps. Please rate, review and share on socials if you can, and join us again next week for more of the same. And until then, enjoy your rugby.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.